Hello and welcome to ReginaldESQ. I'm Underhook and this is my review of the British Tier 9 self-propelled gun, the FV3805. So, is it any good? I think for a Tier 9 artillery, it's probably pretty good. I say probably because this is the only one I've ever driven. I've only driven the British line and this is my first Tier 9, so I don't have a lot to compare it to. But having a look at the stats and after using this artillery, I'd say it's probably pretty good. However, I have decided now after using this that high tier artillery, that is artillery above tier 8, isn't for me. I really don't like these high tier artillery at all. Why? Because their accuracy is terrible, and for me, I could be wrong, but just the way I feel, it takes all the skill out of the game. And here's why. You could play a game where you fire 10 shots, let's say 9 of them hit, and you have a fantastic game. You've done like 6,000 damage, you've got medals coming out everywhere, and you go, wow, that was awesome. Go back in time and replay that game again. Do everything exactly as you did it, aim in exactly the same place again, and you could get 0 damage. Because hitting, there's so much luck involved in actually hitting something, and it has so little to do with your skill and how you aim that it's just pot luck, and it's incredibly frustrating and drives me mad. Some people might like it, I don't. That said, I do have some fantastic games to show you. I'm obviously not going to show you the games where I missed every shot in the whole game, and there are quite a few shots like games like that, but I have got some good games for you to have a look at. But just bear in mind when you watch those games that they're not all like that. So we have 450 hit points, which is low. The lowest is the Batchat with 440, so just 10 less, and the best is the GW Tiger with 500. This SPG weighs about 52 ton. The heaviest is the GW Tiger at 59, and the M5355 is about 45 ton. Is the lightest. Ram wise, sure, ram scouts as much as you want. In fact, ram anything, because if you don't ram them, they're going to kill you anyway by the time they get that close, so feel free to ram anything you want. Speed on this tank isn't great. It does 40 kilometers an hour in forward and 12 in reverse. The slowest is the Russian with 35 kilometers an hour in forward, but the fastest is the American and the French. Both do 56 kilometers per hour in forward, which is a lot quicker. Now the GW Tiger says 45 in forward, but I have actually overtaken a GW Tiger in this, so I think the speed quoted for the GW Tiger is not right. The track traverse of 22 degrees per second is pretty good. The best is the Batchat and the M5355, the American. They both have 24 degrees, which isn't that much more, and the worst is the GW Tiger with 16. The view range is 340 meters, and look, really doesn't matter because you're not spotting anything anyway. Signal range of 750 is excellent, and you won't have any trouble being radioed the positions of your targets. Gun depression is only 2 degrees, which means that if you have to go into TD mode to defend yourself, it's really tough. Even if there's a slight downhill slope and a tank's coming at you, you've got to drive onto the downward slope before you can get a shot, and a lot of time you have to break cover to do that. And it's pretty tricky, but most of the high tier artilleries are similar. The best in class is the American M5355 with 5 degrees of gun depression, and the worst is the Batchat with 0. Camouflage wise, this is the best of all of the tier 9 artillery. It's similar to probably a well camouflaged tier 9 heavy tank, and which still means it hasn't really got very good camouflage, but it's better than the others. Now the gun traverse, which I will show in Tank Inspector, is 50 degrees, and that's pretty darn good, which means you don't have to keep turning your tracks to aim all the time. The worst in class is the Russian with just 8 degrees. That's terrible. And the best is the Batchat because it's got a fully traversable turret. The range of this top gun, which you can see here, is 1350 meters. The GW Tiger has the shortest range with 1050, and the Batchat has the longest with 1400. But having a shorter range at this tier is actually better because it means when you're shooting at the limits of your gun range, you have a higher gun arc, which means you can shoot over objects more easily. The where am I up to? The reload time on the gun, and let's get the gun up. The reload time on this gun, well, it's 1.46 rounds per minute, which equates to a reload time of about 39.5 seconds with a standard crew and equipment. The best in class is the Batchat with 29.8, and the worst is the GW Tiger at 46. So it's not bad compared to the others. And the aim time is 6.71 seconds, which is the same as the American, but not as good as the French Batchat at 5.27, and better than the Russian and German at 7.19. Now, I looked in Tank Inspector, and it does tell you the average hit rate, the amount of times most people hit with their shots, and on this tank it's 36.55. The worst is the Russian with 32.69%, and the best is the Batchat with 38.93%. So as far as accuracy goes, this one's pretty accurate. For me though, I was more like about 33%, actually I think less than 33% accuracy in this tank, so I'm a little bit worse than the average person. The shells, you can see here, has 92mm of penetration with standard ammunition and 97mm of penetration with the premium ammunition. All shells do 1750 damage if they fully penetrate. Now, the GW Tiger has 105mm of penetration with the standard shells and does 2000 damage, so it does more damage, but it's not as accurate. The worst is the Batchat with just has 95mm of penetration, so there's more penetration than us. We actually have the worst penetration with 92, but the Batchat has a much lower damage of just 1250, so you do more damage with this than the Batchat. The splash radius for the standard shells is 5.05 meters, and with the premium shells it's 7.32 meters, and that's the main benefit other than the 5mm of extra pen. Now the best in class is the GW Tiger with 6.44 meters as standard and 9.21 on its premium shells. So the gun, yeah, it's not very accurate. You could use one of the other guns. I tried using the 6-inch for a while, but I found the 6-inch did too little damage, and also I found with the 6-inch that some of the tier 10 tanks, it didn't do any damage, it just bounced off them completely. So I decided to stick with this top gun. So my crew is fully trained. Commander has 6th Sense repairs and is working on camouflage. The gunner has camouflage repairs and is working on snapshot. The driver has smooth ride, clutch braking and is working on camouflage. The loader has camouflage, brothers in arms and is working on repairs. And the other loader has camouflage, brothers in arms and is also working on repairs. And yes, I know brothers in arms doesn't work unless your whole crew is trained with it, but I think I pulled these crews from a couple of other tanks and just put them together on this tank. So I have vents fitted, a gun rammer fitted and gun lane drive fitted, and the whole purpose of all of that is simply to speed up the load time and the aim time, because that's it. You know, truly you want to keep the shots firing as much as possible to do as much damage or give yourself as much chance of hitting something as you possibly can. Alright, so let's have a look in Tank Inspector and then get into some games. I do have some really good games for you to watch. So let's have a quick look in Tank Inspector. We probably have a look at that gun traverse first. So you can see there, that's not a bad arc. That's pretty good. Alright, let's have a look at the armor. And you can see at the front here we've got 38 mils, which won't stop anything. A little bit here is 51, that won't stop anything. The superstructure is 51, which won't stop. Look, if you angle it like that, you can see it's 51 as well. Every now and then you do bounce a shell from a scout tank. It does sometimes bounce. And we've got a bit of spaced armor on the side, 14. So if artillery shots land sort of somewhere near us, maybe it'll help. The back 51, down here is 38. The roof is 14. So an artillery hitting you with a good shot will just blow you apart. Okay, let's get into the gameplay. Alright, first off I'm going to show you some counter battery. Now I don't know if you saw it, but just then from behind the rocks a shell shot out. I saw it, but I couldn't see, because I was looking at the whole screen, I couldn't see exactly where it came from. So now I'm being very patient and I'm waiting to see the shot come again. Now, for your reference, if you can see on the left hand side of my sight, there's a 0.0 seconds in green, and under that there's 34.76. Just sort of above and maybe slightly to the left of that 0.0 seconds, there will be another shot come pretty soon. So I am patiently waiting to see where it shoots from. Then I will shoot back at that location. But I'm kind of at the moment though in real time not sure. I knew the shot came from somewhere around here, but I didn't exactly see it, so I'm trying to find it. So this is called counter battery or anti-arty, and that is looking to see where arty is shooting from, because there's a sort of a line that follows the shell, and we should see it pretty soon. And then you basically just aim at where it came from, and hopefully you blow up their arty. There, did you see that? It's actually, now I'm not quite in the right spot. I should be a bit more over to the left, but I didn't quite see it properly. I fire. Now I've been spotted, so that T-71 up there on the hill spotted me, so I've got to pull back. Now I can tell you that shot, I had a look at the stats afterwards, did actually damage the artillery, but didn't knock it out. So there are 3 artillery on each team, and I have noticed that that seems to be the trigger. When there are 3 or more artillery on the team, people will counter battery, which is why I was doing, because okay, I'm going to get in first. Yeah, they do counter battery. So if people are doing counter battery, it means that every time you fire, you need to move, because someone will see your shot and then shoot at you where you last shot from, and if you're still sitting there, you'll die. So yeah, now let me just skip ahead. I'll just pause it for a second. Okay, so I just I moved and then a shell landed where I was, so I know that I am now being counter batteried. So I'm about to fight this guy. We let the shell go and we blow him up. Yay! Now I'm gonna move. So I was just at that bush there. I'm moving. I messed up my controls there a little bit. Now watch the bush I was just behind. Just watch that. I'm just parking here out of the way so no one can hit me. Artillery has a long aim time, so it doesn't look like he was pre-aimed. He must have been looking around for me, because there he goes. So if I hadn't moved, I'd be dead. And that's what counter battery is all about. So yeah, now I'm going back to the same location, which is a bit risky. Sometimes you go back to the same location, sometimes you just fire from another location. Previous to this, I fired from another location, then moved to this location and fired. Now I've come back to, and he fired at the other location. Now I've come back to this location, so he probably thinks I've gone to the other location. So yeah, and I try and counter battery him again, and anyway, that's how it works, in case you didn't know.
Let's get this show on the road.
The map is Tundra. It's a tier 10 game, but only just. The enemy has an E100 and an FV3805. Other than that, there's a bunch of tier 9s and some tier 8s. So I start moving towards a position which I think is pretty good on this map. Now this game, I do a fair amount of damage, but it's a good game to show as a replay because you can see all of my hits. Sometimes, you know, you do a blind shot and you see that your shot doesn't explode, so you know it's hit something, but you don't know how much damage you've done until you check the stats at the end of the game. Unfortunately, the screenshots, or the stats I show at the end of the game are just screenshots, so I can't actually go into detail and show you how much damage I did to a tank or whatever. But in this replay I don't need to, because the hits I make in this one are all visible, so you can see the damage as it happens. Oh, we found a 30. And he's straight down the train line. We've got a really good shot at him, and it's going to be hard for him to get offline, so I'm just aiming. My gun's loaded, but I'm letting it aim. Remember, we've got to wait about 7 seconds or so for our gun to aim. And I fire, and we get him. Now, other people have taken, already taken most of his health off, so I only got 108 for that. And when you hit stuff like that with arty, it's kind of a bummer if other people shoot it while your shell's in the air sometimes as well. But, oh well, at least you get something. And we did get the kill, I suppose, so that's good. Oh, this is perfect for arty. Tanks bunched together. Now, what I said before I think I said in the intro, the review, sometimes you get games where they're all 3 are bunched together like that, and you fire and fire and fire, and you just keep missing. Now, that one missed. You saw it hit way back on the rocks, way back behind that panther there, Jack Panther. It went nowhere near it. And sometimes you have games where every single shot, that's what happens. So we've still got another 16 seconds to reload here. Speed it up to 2 times until it's about ready to fire. And I'll slow back down again now because we're about ready to let our shell go. And you can see I'm aiming just behind the tank, so I have a lower trajectory. And we hit it in the front for 703 and someone else finishes off. So that time we probably got the good end of the deal there, damage wise. Now there's a T95, and I've been driving the T95 a fair bit lately, and it is pretty tough if you drive it well and you keep it protected, so it'd be good for us to get rid of that for the team. Now I can't see him anymore, but I bet he's still there, and the reason I bet he's still there is because he can't afford to move forward where people can shoot him from the sides. All he can do is either stay there or go back, and he has stayed there. So aim at his back deck, and wow, what do we do? 763. That's pretty good damage to a T95. So I think we might have actually hit the back deck because it's well armoured on the front. I am using standard ammunition. I'm not using premium. A Leopard. Hard to hit scout tanks because they're so mobile. But I would like to get him because I like to get rid of scouts because they're the ones that are probably the most dangerous to you, other than other artillery. Now, that earlier, here we go, a fire. Oh, nice hit, 825. We nearly kill him. In the last little video you saw, I showed you a bit of counter battery work. I'm not worried about counter battery at all in this game. I mean, it could happen, but this is a big map and there's only one artillery on each team. So to do counter battery means you'd have to ignore all the other tanks on the battlefield for a long time, and you're pretty much making yourself useless for half the game. Now there's a bit of something going on here with the replay. It's sort of moving differently to what I did in the game here. But anyway, I do take a shot at this guy, but no, yeah, okay. See how it's extending? It's not. I'm aiming at the IS-3, okay, and I've just hit him for 774. For the side is just moving off at random. I don't know why it's doing that. And there you go, it's gone back now. Anyway, so we got a good hit on that IS-3 between the rocks, which was a risky shot, but it paid off. So we've done over 3,000 damage already, so it's been a good game. And of course I'm using the map a lot, which is why I'm able to zoom straight up to tanks. And I want to go for this Jag Tiger. I'm waiting for my gun to load. Still another 6 seconds to go. And someone else hits it. Luckily just before I press fire, so I didn't waste my shell. Now I can see that a Waffenträger, a tier 9 Waffenträger was spotted down here. So I'm just going to sit here and let my gun aim. So I'm pre-aimed now. And I'm waiting, because we're going to win this game. Obviously we've got heaps of tanks. So it's only going to be a matter of time before someone spots it. And there it is. So now you can see I lose a fair bit of my aim by moving. And the gun is almost fully under. Let the shell go. Oh! 1598. He was full health. He was 2 points off full health, so he probably bumped into somebody at the start of the game. That was a nice one. Let's see if we can get. I've got 20 seconds to reload here. I might just speed this up a little bit to 2 times while I'm reloading. You could see some dust getting kicked up there. There he is. It's going to be a. Don't know if we can hit him. Nah. I'll go back to normal speed now. Nah, he's in a spot now. I can't quite reach him, and it's too risky now anyway with this other guy here. So looks like we're gonna. We're 90% capped, but it looks like we're gonna kill this guy. Yeah, that's it. End of the game. So ended up being a class 1, and we got a Gauze medal, which is a medal you get in artillery only, and it's when you do 10 times more damage than you have hit points. Yeah, so it's a good one to get. We finished 1, 2, 3, 4th for XP on our side, even though we did finish on top for damage. You can see that in artillery you don't earn a lot of XP. It's hard to earn XP because you're not doing your own spotting, and you're not doing any spotting for anyone else. Unless you track something and someone shoots it, you'll get damage, spotting damage, but most of the things you shoot, someone else has spotted, so you're sharing the XP with them. 7 shots fired, 5 of them were direct hits. We also did lots of splash damage. Sometimes you'll get awarded splash damage, but you don't actually do any damage to the tank. It's just sort of like it impacted it, that's all. 4,771 damage is pretty good. 6 damage, 3 destroyed. And good income for that game. Not always good income with this tank. Sometimes you can do. I did 6 times the value of my tank in damage and lost money one game. So Sort of depends. And 945 is enough for a class 1, so probably about 1100 maybe would be a mastery in this tank. I never got mastery in this tank. The map is Ensk, and it's a tier 10 game. The enemy team has about 5 tier 10s. So Ensk is a very small map for artillery, so generally speaking it's not long before you get discovered, but fortunately this turns out to be a very quick game. So I might tell you a few stats while you're enjoying watching this. I'll tell you a few stats of my stats that I went through with this tank. I've played 303 games to get it to Elite. So that's how many games I had to play to get it Elite, where I can now actually go and buy the tier 10 if I want to. Because it's 265,000 XP is required to unlock the tier 10 tank. That's not counting the XP you also need to get your modules such as the engine and the gun and the tracks and all that sort of stuff. So it's a lot of XP to get. I actually played a lot of my games, like I was playing like at least sort of 1 game a day, maybe 2 games a day, just to use up get the 2 times. So I didn't have to play as many games in it because I didn't really enjoy it that much, but yeah. RHMs are great to aim for because they just blow up. Oh, we missed him, but still did a bit of damage. Let me see now. My average XP in this tank is 605, so not that great. My damage ratio though is pretty good, is 5.57, so that means on an average game I do 5.57 times my hit points in damage, and my average kill ratio per game is 1.44, so those stats are not bad in the tank. And what else can I tell you about it? Oh, my best game, I did 5,548 damage. The replay kind of corrupted though. And, yeah, it's a bit weird, so I didn't want to show it to you. That's about it, I guess. So yeah, when you have good games, it's great, but it's just all luck. I mean, I've hit these tanks in this game. I could just have easily have missed all of them. Oh, Waffenträgers, I love hitting them. Their turrets do lots of damage to them. Oh, 1628, and somebody else finishes him off. He must have been pissed off. They must get blown up all the time, artillery. They are a favourite target because any of those TDs with no armour just explode when you hit them. So it's been a pretty quick game. Our team is doing pretty well. Oh, I'd like to get the E3 because it's a tough target to hit. If artillery can get rid of it, that's good. Lorraine 40T, another tank with very thin armour, and so I fire. Oh! 1488. So we did 1628 to that Waffenträger and 1488 to that guy. So you can see how, you know, if the gun is accurate on target, you can do a lot of damage very quickly. If you hit target tanks in the right place, or they've got thin armour. I'd like to get this E3. He's now their last tank left, but I'm not going to get a shot. He's staying behind that building. And our team takes care of him. End of the game. So not a bad game. Class 3, we did a bit of damage. The main reason I showed that game is because it was fast. So it was not bad damage considering how quickly it was done. And I thought, because artillery games can be a bit boring, so it's better to have a short game with a medium amount of damage rather than some really long game where we did heaps. So once again, down the tree for XP, although looks as like we were close to the top for damage. Actually, we were the top for damage. Don't know why, I keep finishing top for damage and a lot of the time I don't get high caliber. Anyway. Next screen. So we only fired 4 shots. 3 of them were direct hits and 1 did splash damage. It was 3,926. Wow. Vehicles damaged, 2 destroyed, 4 destroyed 2. Not much more to say. Good income there, but like I say, I've done that much damage before on a loss and actually lost money. So just depend. And if you fire a lot of shots, like I probably fired about 11 or 12 shots, but just missed with most of them. And yeah, so you're seeing good games, not the bad ones. 747 XP is a class 3, and that's about it. Thank you for watching my review of the FV3805. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please give it a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more reviews, please subscribe to ReginaldESQ. Have fun.